make your way to Alpheus's mansion, and Lulu, a dog walks by and shakes their head vigorously, slobber going everywhere, hitting you in the leg, even though you're just standing there. Uh,
Perfect.
what are you doing? Is your ear itching that badly? Here. Um, anyway, you guys are making your way to Alpheus's estate. There are 4 guards instead of 2 posted here.
Eh,
Um,
yeah.
but
I don't say shit.
upon seeing you, they don't say anything. They just open the gates and let you in.
That's what I fucking thought.
Um,
Piece of shit.
Yeah, I buck up to one of them as we walk past.
um, you guys go inside. You're escorted inside the mansion. There are a couple of the people that work there. The servants will lead you to the study. Inside the study is Kareem's son and Alpheus sitting at his desk, looking uh, very tired. And you can actually see like his arm is in a sling. And he is sitting there. He's got like his coat is over it, but you can still see that it's in a sling.
So I'm gonna shut the door behind us and like analyze the door as I lock it.
Yeah. Make a perception check.
Okay, get my dice out again. 25.
Okay. I mean, it's got like an alarm thing around it, but you noticed that the last time you were here. And it doesn't seem to have any other kind of magic on it. It has like you can see the alarm on it, like if it's unlocked, without using, if like the wrong people are opening this door, it would go off for whoever casts the spell.
Kind of on that same vein, I'll kind of give like a glance over to the environment and just because I'm paranoid at this point because I haven't been here since Garyu's been in here. I'm on alert.
Yeah. You can see that there's the same thing on like he's got like that like the entire like not the entire thing, but like on either side of the desk are 2 really big windows that allow a lot of natural sunlight in. And you waved from the other side of these into the room the first time everyone met. There's probably like a flashback to that. And you're looking at the now. I mean, they have the alarms on them as well. Just again, like last time you were here, there doesn't seem to be anything else different. There is a glass pitcher with water and some glasses where you can pour water for yourselves.
I'll just abruptly go, pardon me, but do you mind if we could close the curtains to these windows?
And Alpheus motions to Kareem-san to close the curtains. And he stares, rather he glares at Gario, and then his eyes snap down to you, Dao. And he goes, "It's."
Yeah, sure.
He goes, It's good to see that you all made it out alive. We had thought you were dead.
Understandable.
Some months ago.
We encountered a beast that manipulated time amidst our combat. So I understand.
Did everyone make it out alive?
Yes. Well, besides
Aside from Clark, yes.
besides what we told you, yes. Okay, I'm gonna skip the pleasantries here, Alpheus. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be blunt, and I'm going to give you the full report immediately. The obelisk is a prison for the nephew of Drumnir. Erdespir is the offspring of the Titan King, Titania. The contract was made by Peter to protect Erdesphere from the other deities from influencing. The contract had been lost to time, possibly for centuries. The other representations that were in the obelisk were of no help. Getting into the obelisk was almost assured death or a catalyst for calamity, because the only way to escape was either taking your own life or taking the ring in which we had to take. Once said ring was taken, the obelisk became a weapon. Once the obelisk was a weapon, the maelstrom subsided, and a war among the deities commenced in front of our faces. Rosa himself was slain, or possibly slain, very assuredly slain. We had no visuals confirmation of that, but I couldn't assure you he was overwhelmed. And I'll give a description of all the other deities that I see, or I saw in the
Yeah.
combat. This transpired, and he gave the ultimate sacrifice to keep us out of it. His final words were, "I never wanted this. Go and be safe."
And Alpheus has just kind of started rubbing like his forehead, and he nods. And he goes, "Thank you, Dao, for that. I could have uh, used that information much earlier."
Well, when we first arrived, everything was suspicious. When Garyu was here, he saw reason to be even more on alert, and the information that we had, I sincerely believe, could either stop or start a war. And thus, we treated this information extremely
I
personally.
appreciate your prudence, Dao. It is extremely valuable information, and with Sorab currently at war with Taif and Zuke, it could, if it got out publicly and was not handled appropriately, it could spell disaster. I appreciate your forethought in this. And he hasn't like actually looked at you. His eyes are closed and he's rubbing like his forehead and his nose and like the side of like his temple all at the same time. Uh, and he goes, "Dao, you didn't recognize the person I was using to send the messages to you. Previously, we had used Rosen clerics as our communications."
That would explain it. So it is happening. The Rosen power is fading.
It's
Or gone.
gone.
We saw a sermon earlier today. Was it yesterday? Today?
It was a day or two ago.
Where the spell perhaps completed. We couldn't be sure. But it
Uh,
certainly seemed to alarm the priest.
as of the day of your return, no Rosen magic has worked.
Well, that's exactly what I feared.
Um, Dao, do you know how important communication is in a time of war?
Nope. I've never been at war, sir.
And he kind of pauses and he looks at you and he like it seems like he has to remember that you are 13.
14 now, motherfucker.
Yeah, like like you're a kid for all. Like this guy is like in his 40s, and he's just like, you've you led the Blood Fangs. You had turf
I
uh,
get what you're trying to say. I
disputes.
understand. We guarded this a little too harshly. I get it.
Yeah. Um, I
Now, just imagine our perspective when we came back here. It it doesn't take much to see where we're coming from.
and he just kind of rests his head on one hand, uh, and and he goes, "This pillar, I assume." And he looks at Gario. Are you carrying the weapon?
It's still shrouded, but I have it.
He goes, "May I see the weapon?"
I'll look to down.
What do you intend to do with it, sir? Question mark.
I wish to look at it
Oh,
for
in like the
inspect.
weird,
And he's like,
kind of. Oh, sorry.
he's just like, I wish to inspect it and see for my own eyes.
In like this weird sort of dichotomy where like the previous time Alpheus saw the group, like it was everyone speaking. It was like Garyu up front, and it was Dao like chirping in and stuff. Like this time, Dao is like up front, and he like snaps his fingers and like waves at Garyu to like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And I'll unwrap it and kind of hold it to my side. I can't say that it's safe for another to touch.
He looks
Keep
at.
in mind, this used to be a massive, bigger than your house obelisk.
He just kind of stares at it for a moment.
This is our home for some time.
Apparently, about a year.
And he looks. He looks older, like in like just the process of this conversation. Um, and he looks very tired. And he goes, and Garyu said that the Erdisphere, the son of the Titan King, was killed or is dead.
I said that.
Yeah.
I said the Erdisphere was killed.
Yeah.
By our negligence.
And he nods. And he kind of seems to snap out of his fugue, and he motions, or he actually takes off something, and he kind of offers it to Garyu, and it's a looks like a little, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a key phone or a phone keychain. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh,
It looks like a keychain. Let's just leave it at that.
okay.
And at
There's some
the
kind of bauble attached.
yeah,
So,
it's a bauble. It is um it's a it's a sphere, like a glass sphere, and in the middle of it is a kind of like a speckled gold draconic eye.
okay, I'll reach out to take it.
And he goes, "I advise putting this on the weapon immediately. It will
Prevent scrying.
prevent scrying on the weapon
Like you
or
scryed us
or
earlier.
detecting the location of the weapon."
I do it immediately.
And he goes, "It will protect the weapon. It will not protect you. But if the Titan King doesn't know what you look like, you should be relatively safe."
I mean, he's a mere ant compared to the Titan King. I don't think he knows what any human looks like.
Yes, but from your reports, it sounds like, from your reports and the reports of a previous adventuring group, it seems he can detect the location of the pillar.
That would make sense. It is his weapon. If at the very least he would know what it is and be able to scry for it.
If not that, then he knew he knew the innate location of his son.
Well, if he knew that, he knows his son is gone now.
In either case, I believe this will assist you.
He'll nod to Alpheus and attach the device to the weapon.
And
This was one of my direct concerns.
he goes, it is a concern, as he may know an approximate direction based on how long it's been out of the maelstrom. Not an exact one, but he can search a very large area.
For him to have scried for it, he would have had to have noticed the maelstrom is gone, correct?
If he did not innately know that when it was taken down. We don't know.
I don't know. I have been humbled before a literal dozen deities in the past week.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're capable of? Though I would like to go on record, I've heard nothing of the kind of behavior I witnessed in the Maelstrom. Deities attacking each other. Why?
Were they attacking each other, or were they attacking Rosa?
They were attacking Rosa.
Oh. There's a reason for that.
Well,
he was the only deity on this side of the only one that had strong enough powers to be on both sides of the plane.
he said he was dying.
I yes, I understand that. What I meant was he was not a deity originally.
He was a man?
He was a man that, through a very obscured sequence of events, became a god.
I'll look down to
Sabo
Dow.
attempts to take.
Yeah, that's exactly Sabo.
Sabo might be onto exactly those obscure sequence of events.
I imagine many people are.
Many people.
I would.
Is it known?
Oh, there's many people that wish to attain godhood. There are a handful that might have the means, or the power, or the knowledge to do so.
If it would be at all possible, I think it would be best to direct who takes the vacated seat.
Our original plan was to go into the celestial plane after obtaining the weapon that you see before you. We thought perhaps if Sabo could defeat Rosa, we could defeat Sabo. After seeing what we saw there, we were but specks of dirt compared to the sheer might. I have no idea how we would stop someone that is capable of fighting beings like that.
You would have to grow stronger or make them weaker.
So what is our next move? I know you hired us to find information for the Maelstrom, and we have delivered it, albeit
Indeed.
under unfortunate circumstances. but I feel like this is an event greater than us, an event greater than this room or the gold we obtained or the baubles, and he holds out like the rings and stuff involved. We have apparently a war on our hands. How did that start? How can we stop it?
And he looks at Gario and he says, "There was an assassination attempt on the Sultan of Taif some months ago, or something like a year, like a year and a half ago. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I have to add on the 11 months, so like 2.5 years ago." He goes, "There was an assassination attempt on the Sultan about 2.5 years ago. Um, there it was automatically shifted some blame towards us, Sorib, and
Is it true? Did Sorab attempt?
he kind of shrugged his shoulders. He goes, "I do not think so, but I cannot account for everyone who lives here. I can account for most people in Damaris and some of the higher ups in the Rosen Church, including the Archbishop, and none of them ordered the assassination attempt."
So rebels.
And he goes, "That was our suspicion, as there was, or rather, was a contention as if the current Princess Jade had been replaced by a fake, and that the real Princess Jade was leading a rebellion of some sort within the nation of Taif. Over the process of the next 2.5 years, that rebellion was put down. And then they said that
Oh, sorry. Never mind. Sorry. Completely out of character. Continue.
that rebellion was put down, and uh, that new information, and he kind of like raises his head and rolls his eyes, came to light that Sorab had been behind the entire rebellion the entire time. Uh,
Lies?
he like nods. He goes, uh, Sorab and Taif were allies at one point, and then uh, 25 years ago, the prince of Zuke married the Princess Jade, becoming the new sultan after the sultan had been assassinated.
So, and I apologize if you're delivering more on this, but you're telling me the war was started by a rebel assassination attempt and a lie?
I mean, there's also the ever increasing and growing uh, hunger for territory that Zuke has. That had been delayed after the month of darkness, but is now picked up again.
Do we know where the lie came from? Where the quote new information on Sora being involved in the assassinations originated from?
It seems to be from the princess herself.
The victim.
Yeah.
Did did she have anything other than they did it to say?
They said, after putting down the rebellion and capturing leaders, they were able to extract the information from them.
Huh. So it was not official, and
The
the whole country is getting blamed for terrorists?
And he kind of shrugs. There's also um, it's not quite as simple as that, but that is what I can boil it down to. It's a thin veil of them wanting to acquire more territory. Because of the assassination of the Sultan and the fact that the Taif princess married the son of the Emperor of Zuke, Taif, and the rebellion has been put down. Taif essentially is just a territory of the empire.
Of the Zucayan Empire, and the Zucayan Empire wants any reason to invade Sora.
Yeah.
And now that
Now that the rebellion is over, they can focus on it.
and now that Sorab has lost its Rosen magic, our military is weakened.
I have taken great steps within my power to try and balance the scale of non uh, non Rosen uh, combatants, but I have received much pushback from the church.
Really? Pushback from the church?
And he just kind of like shakes his head and he goes, "They think it shows a lack of faith in their soldiers."
Forgive me for being offensive, but you can't have faith in someone that's not there.
Yes, well, not everyone thought that Rosa was dying. I simply wanted to diversify the troops. Now it is a necessity.
Okay, how can we stop this war?
And he actually probably makes that noise. Uh, and he goes, I Sorab could surrender to the Empire.
Would that stop bloodshed?
It would prevent some, but I imagine all of the uh, leaders would be exiled or executed. It's
Do
what
you
they
think
did in
Zuke
Taif.
knows? Is what they did in Taif, you said?
Yeah. After the prince became sultan, there was many people, loyal leaders within Taif that were removed, executed, or some reason was found to remove them from their seats of power.
Okay. Hypothetically speaking, if you had a squad of very talented people that have done what no other mortals have done in the history of this planet available to you, what would you have them do?
He looks at Garyu for a long, hard moment. And he goes, I would have to think on it. I I lost 20 ships yesterday.
So the front line is already active. How long has it been active?
3 months. They have a fleet of airships.
Is Zuke 100% the aggressor in this situation?
Of course not.
Because I will say,
I'm not
and I
going. I'm not going to lie to you. There has been aggression on both sides. What would be the point of There's
Okay.
always border disputes. The Cyclone Sea has always been problematic both for the storm inside of it and for the pirates that wander around it. Some of them claiming to be from one nation or another, or given birth in certain areas and pillaging others, sometimes under orders, sometimes not.
Well, I can't believe I'm suggesting this, but seeing as Sorb is the now underdog because of said events, Sorb has something that the other nations don't: the beck and call to a Titan King.
And he goes, I you're suggesting we use the pillar as a beacon.
It could. I don't know if it's the right answer. I don't think it will actually prevent bloodshed, but it could. I mean, I've not been to war, but if there is a card that has not been on the table ever in the history of war, it is the ability to move something like a Titan King to a direct location.
And he looks at Garu.
Gary's just staring at Dao.
I don't know how to use this and not kill. The Titan King moving alone kills. But what if there was a way to make the Titan King, say, move in a path that would not kill anything and perhaps block the two nations or make them reconsider or go back to their shores?
He thinks on it for a long moment. Garu, what is Garu thinking right now?
Garyu just turns to Dao and he says, I would have your counsel, Master Dao. And he taps the side of his.
Of course. I'll send a message to him. What are you thinking?
I am not meant for this.
I I understand. I'm just trying to put cards on the table so that we can think about a solution. I reading his body language and his reception to this event, he doesn't want to abuse this and cause any more bloodshed as much as we do. He actually feels like a pretty good man in this conversation.
I can't disagree with you, but I am so lost.
Um, well, I of course will never ask you to do anything you're uncomfortable with. But I am looking for a way to end this war, and I don't know if the ability that we're speaking of has any potential. But if we could come up with something that looks like it would cause peace, I would. That begins a new conversation.
I agree with your outlook for a certainty. There's just this is none of us and none of them matter. There's so much more to put to rest, and I don't know. I don't know.
Dal will just verbalize instead of message. It perhaps it was just a naive thought, but I don't think involving the Titan King can be done without massive collateral and destructive damage that would be worse than, say, surrendering or accepting a conditional. I don't know. You might know the war terms. I don't know what I'm talking about, but just his footprint alone kills a city. I don't think it really works.
And he would say it it is a weapon, to be sure. It has no blunt edges. It
If you can find a constructive way or tactic or thought that involves it, please seek us out. Please, let's have a conversation.
hmm,
Right this moment, I think this is a bad idea, and I wish to retract it.
that is noted, Master Dow. And he would you go, I have much to think on. I assume you all do too.
Of course. I mean, the
I may
civil affairs
yeah,
happening in the city seem paltry to the lives of thousands. I mean, just I hate to ask, but just from my perspective and us involved, how many lives were lost today?
I have not received the tally yet.
Hundreds?
Yesterday it was 1,400 men.
Fucking shame.
His eyes flick to Garyu, and there's a real anger there. But his gaze softens eventually as he looks back at you.
There's an there's an important topic that I need to discuss with Master Dao. One
Um,
moment before we end this
I
interaction.
and he goes, before you talk with Dao, what you're going to do, may I have a moment to speak with both of you candidly?
Of course, I thought that's what we were doing now. I've been speaking candidly.
And he goes, I don't like you, Garyu. I think you're a fucking moron. But you hold the fate of Soreb not in your hands, but in your mouth.
Garyu, you hear in your mind, he's speaking of what we talked about earlier.
This is what I wished to speak to you about before we terminate this interaction.
Go on.
So Garyu reaches down to his belt and he pulls a dagger, and he holds it out to
Crimson
Tom.
will like move forward like defensively in front of uh, Alpheus. Alpheus doesn't even move.
And he turns to Dao and he says, or he wills, I was created as a weapon, and I think I may need to come to terms with the fact that that might be what I am. I told you I was not made for this. I need someone better to direct me. Would you have me as the first in reclaiming the Blood Fangs?
You'll hear, boy, I already made you a member of the Blood Fangs as soon as we met. Don't you fucking remember? Of course you're in the Blood Fangs. Of course you're my captain.
Garyu will slash his forearm and draw the symbol of the Blood Fangs on his armor in his own blood. And he'll turn to Alpheus and say, I have no mouth. The voice of my leader speaks for me.
And Alpheus nods, and then looks at you, Dao.
Tao just looks at him with like a big old smile on his face and looks at Alpheus. The fuck, you think I'm gonna let Zuke know that we're all ready to fucking die and shit? Get the fuck out of here.
There's a location that's up
And
to you to divulge.
So, okay. Alpheus, can we put on the table that neither of us want any bloodshed if possible?
he he looks at you, and he does not say yes. There is a very hard look in his eyes. And he goes, I think that is best, but I don't think I can agree to that.
Well,
I put my hand on Dao's shoulder, if I may.
oh,
We
I lost internet for a second. Go
Oh,
on,
sorry.
continue.
I put my hand on your shoulder and just ask, if I may.
Sure, yeah, of course.
I understand the feelings, emotions, and tensions, but I just ask that everyone involved be understood as just people and be given the opportunity to flee and return to their nation as servants of their nation.
I mean, basically, what's going on is, I mean, Garyu is from Zuke, right? I mean, of course he got contacted by Zuke when he's here. Like, it should be no surprise to you that there's people of Zuke in Damaris.
It's not a surprise.
Right. All right. All right. I don't. All right. There's no mystery here. There's no like. Ooh. It's just. Of course, he was contacted. He just didn't say anything because I told him exactly what I told you, which is this information could start or stop a war. And well, I held up exactly what we were paid and commissioned to do, which is get the information to you. I think, honestly, of all the people that I've known in power, you're the best to have this kind of information.
And he goes, that is comforting, if naive. I will tell you, gentlemen, I am not a good man. I am a great one. I will do what it takes to save this country, and I do not wish for more bloodshed if it can be helped.
I can tell you I have given no information to the nation of Zuke. nor the
By
conspirators or allies that may be present.
and he nods and he goes,
And
but they know you have information, and should you not suddenly want to give that information, you will be targeted.
I told him this too. Because he had direct contact, it looks very suspicious if he doesn't go to them. I told him, like I told everyone else just hours before, coming here, following me could make him an enemy of Zuke. And because both sides are vying for his attention and knowledge, he will have to choose a side. Apparently, the side he chose was the Bloodfangs, which I'm fucking honored. Come on, man. That's fucking cool, isn't it cool? Come on.
it's pretty cool.
And are the Bloodfangs on the side of Zorib?
I mean, currently, I will 100% vouch for the Bloodfangs doing the best good they can for all people they interact with. For that, I'll give my life.
Very well. You said you had a location.
Uh, they contacted him. They gave him an information of an inn nearby. Was it in the city? I don't even. I
It's in
never
the
heard of
city.
it.
It's in Cofton.
But
I'm telling you, as a
honestly,
GM, I'm telling you that. I'm not. Yeah.
right? Okay. But honestly, I am not comfortable sending a crusade against them. I would rather inform them that their location is compromised and watch them leave.
I would be happy to perform this task.
And he nods and he goes, I would not wish for their spy network to be completely dismantled. For that would raise more suspicions than a simple rearrangement of their location.
But we do have the pressing problem of they know, and by they, I mean that Zukayan emperors know that Garyu has survived the Maelstrom and is back into Maris.
Is that all
That
they know?
is literally, that is to the letter, the information they've been given.
Now, we know that that weapon, and I point to the obelisk, is by far the most important thing to keep hidden right now. We 100% know this. Additionally, I would say keeping Garyu hidden from the nation of Zuke right now is probably priority number 2.
Yeah.
For all of Sorib. Now, I think we both understand that if Garyu tells Zuke what we know here, nothing good will happen. Can we protect Garyu from scry or mental assault himself like you did his weapon? Perhaps there's a helmet or something that he can wear.
Um, uh, Alpheus fiddles with a ring that he's wearing. He goes, there are items that can be acquired for that. And one will be. We will find one and give it to you.
So at this point, what are we like? Damaris contractors or military? On what does that make us?
It makes you the Blood Fangs who live in
Hey,
Sorib.
you fucking listening? Good on you. Also, I appreciate it. You held up your end of the bargain. That orphanage looks very nice. Thank you.
It seems the least I could do for a dead man.
Well, we might we might be perceived dead or alive several times before this is over.
And he goes, there is a few things I would ask of you.
Put it on the table. Let's go. We're speaking candidly, remember?
I knew a man once, a rival in my younger days. We were both trained by the same man, or educated by the same man. I would talk with him. His name is
Sorry.
Charles Frederick III. He is an incredible practitioner of the arcane arts and was formerly tutored by Seymour Sterling.
Is this about shielding Garyu?
This, you asked what?
Or perhaps I've missed your context.
He goes, no, we will procure an item for Garyu. And Crimson,
Marco?
can you not hear us, Polo?
Fuck.
Damn it, Kyle.
He would to correct that. No, his context was this is like something that he would have you guys do, like find out where
Oh,
Charles Frederick III
find
is.
him.
Yeah,
Okay,
he wants
sorry.
to talk. He wants to talk to Charles Frederick III. He's an incredible practitioner of the arcane arts, tutored by Seymour Sterling. Along, and that was that was Alpheus's tutor as well.
Okay. Apologies for the
No big deal.
whatever the fuck disconnect is.
That has nothing to do. He's gonna get an item for Gario. It's not like immediate.
Okay.
I'll bend down and whisper in Dao's ear and hand him the earworm and let him know this is how I contacted the Zucchini.
Also, come on, Garyu. You know, baby, you can just tap your head like this, and I'll send you a message. You can respond.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's what I've done the whole time. That's what I'll do.
You know this, baby. Come on.
That's true. Every other interaction has been thus. So I will
just like that.
So I will hand you the earworm and let you know that mentally.
Okay.
You guys would also remember that there were some notes that Sabo had procured or found inside the obelisk that were from Charles Frederick III.
Fair play. I will kick deep hiss. Just a front kick to the gut.
Why?
And say, my man's, give him the paper. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So I'll hold on to the earworm. But I won't like make a attempt to sleight of hand it or anything. I'll just say, after receiving it, because like every time we're speaking mentally, Alpheus will just see both Garyu and I like lock eyes and just be like silent for like
Yeah,
10 or 15 seconds,
he's used to it.
and I'll put it in my pocket, and I'll mention, okay, so at this point, I think I've made it very clear. We want nothing but to stop the war. I think you want the same. I think you might be a little more on the violent side, given your reaction to loss of bloodshed. I get it. You're on the front lines. You've seen your men die. I don't envy you. If you can come up with a way or a spin that Garyu contacting Zuke is beneficial in the sense that it stops bloodshed and it doesn't create more or empower you, or I don't know. You get what I'm saying. Let me know. Um, and then I guess Garyu front kicks deep hiss in the solar plexus like a boss. Makes
Okay.
it clear.
Charge!
All right.
God damn it, charge!
And he goes, very well. In the meantime, I think it might be best for you and all of the Bloodfangs and or companions to uh,
Be under
perhaps.
your protective service and hide for a little bit, because we're actually like,
I do think it would be best for you to stay in the city and also to recuperate and to digest the events of what has transpired.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Some of our members who may or may not be in this room, uh,
I just imagine like it's you two, and then Carib's son and Alpheus, and then just like floating ghost question marks, just like
like the random character
who,
select ghost, just
yeah, yeah, just like the white silhouette with like the black question mark on it, like who's there?
some of our party uh had immediate family and relationship concerns they needed to attend to. I doubt the, what was it, 2 days? 2 days it's been since we've returned has been enough for these who have been through what we have and missed a year of their life.
Yeah, and as he goes, another thing that may help as the main issue of the main avenue of war for Zuke is the Navy. And another reason that they have been able to push forward was 2.5 years ago, the Pirate King disappeared. And while pirates are usually not incredibly organized, the Pirate King helped establish a sense of balance and order. And so it was a very kind of, if you will, a thin line where they did they were pirates against everyone, but not in so much a way that they were a huge issue. And with absence of them and the prominence of pirates in our areas, it has made it has swung a certain way against us.
So I doubt you're asking us to form a naval bloodfang guild that goes and murders and rampages in the sea to check that balance. But I
No
Maybe we
get
should.
but I get what you're
adventure.
saying.
Uh,
If we could return said pirate king to his land, it might help make checks and balances.
well, as I see it, most of the pirates are under either being paid by Zuke or fighting amongst each other for the next to be the next pirate king.
I mean, what if I became the next Pirate King? Would you hate
That's
me?
what I was saying.
He goes, if it would end this conflict, I would see no main issue with it currently. That is not to say it would work out for us in the future.
I understand and respect it. I will keep that option available. If I can become the Pirate King, I will. I will just put that on the table because if it ends this war and stops conflict, I am fine to have a little bit of pirating.
A little bit. Yeah, Pirate King does a little bit of pirating.
I'd be a bit more of a benevolent Pirate King,
Uh,
but I'm just saying.
and he goes, the last Pirate King was Sabo.
Sabo?
Yes.
Oh, well, there's no returning him to the Pirate King status. He's fucking gone.
He was also not the best Pirate King. Again, comparing Pirate Kings to each other is not a great sorting mechanism, but
When you say not the best, did you mean he angered you and murdered, or
I
was just lazy?
uh, lazy I can deal with. That's predictable. He was erratic, spontaneous, and overall chaotic.
Well, in the unlikely event that I become the Pirate King, have someone of your disposal send me a message maybe once every couple of months. Because that'd be kind of cool, right? I'd be the Pirate King, but like
It
I
would
help the
it would
nation.
be, and then he kind of says this like kind of cool.
Right? That's what I'm fucking talking about. But anyways, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay. And so, yeah, just as a reminder, he wants to talk to Charles Frederick III. He's going to get an item for Garyu. And if you can somehow, some way, uh, reinstate or either become the Pirate King or make someone else who wants to side with Zuke, the Pirate King, or at least swing a good portion of the pirates towards favor with Sorib to prevent or at least increase the chance of a stalemate, essentially. That would be good.
I mean, I'm just gonna go on record. If you do see me become the Pirate King, I hate every murder, every killing, and every wanton rehoming an orphanage that I occur or that I cause. But I will accept these terms to end a war where what was it, 1,400 people were lost every day.
It's not every day, it's just yesterday so far.
That's yesterday. That's you get my point.
Yes.
Um, okay. Do you have any leads on this Charles Frederick III? And by the way, I mean, do we? Never mind. We'll work out our Bloodfang relationship with the military of Sorab and all that. For now, we can just go look for Charles Frederick
Currently,
III.
you're a band of adventurers.
Known as the Bloodfangs.
Known as the
All right.
Bloodfangs. Yeah.
Uh,
There does not need to be any more paperwork unless you wish it to be drawn up.
no, actually, the less paperwork, the better.
He nods.
Okay, so Charles Frederick III.
He goes, the man has been a ghost for 25 years.
Okay, what makes you think he's alive?
He just, every now and then, an abandoned workshop is discovered with some of his notes in it. He wishes to revive his lost love without the use of divine magic.
Wait, you can revive someone with divine magic?
He nods. There are several people. Karim's son has been revived once after.
Holy shit! How long ago was that?
He would say, like, it's been a year and a half. He died in uh, when we lost the Rose of Scimitar of Rosa, the airship. It was destroyed and it killed Karim's son.
Wow. So what? You just need like a body and you can just kaboom, he's back to life?
The body more or less has to. It depends on the level of revivification, but as long as, at least for the easiest way, is for the body to be entirely intact and just and if the spirit
Fixed.
is and if the spirit is willing to fix it and then call the spirit back into the body.
So why doesn't he use divine magic?
He hates the gods, all of them.
Well,
He thinks
I was in his
there's
shoes until literally 2 days ago, where one of them gave his life for mine.
he thinks this world would be better without any.
I don't really know how to react to that.
With what's left of what we saw, I couldn't disagree.
I will. Noted. He hates the gods.
He
Uh,
is incredibly powerful and intelligent and dangerous.
So you want to bring counsel
I want to talk to him.
face to face.
Yes.
Will you be available?
If he is available, then yes. You can feel free to set aside a time and place within reason.
What is reason? How far is your reach?
One time when we were studying under Seymour Sterling, uh, I said to set aside time to go over some lecture notes, and he could pick the place, and I would be there. And I'm a man of my word. And Charles, um, before the his love died, was a bit of a, well, he still is an asshole, and so he set aside an appointment and time and place in Heimfell,
Where's that?
far to the north.
Did you make it?
They did. It was not easy,
Well,
but then I don't have a mind for magic like he does. It cost me quite a bit of money to get there.
okay. So when we find him, we're going to probably have an abrasive personality resist us. Is there anything we can do or show or prove that you are attempting a peaceful counsel with him and are keeping your word or other? Because I don't really feel like if I
Um,
find this guy and I say, hey,
yeah,
your friend wants to meet,
he'll
that's not going to be
he'll
enough.
pull out an old folded letter like it was written a long, long time ago. And he goes, if you give him that, it's a letter of marque that releases him of all crimes within the country of Sorib.
All right.
He has been exiled from the country for necromancy, grave robbing, and consorting with the dark arts.
So he's assuredly not in Sorab then.
He he could. You know this, Dow. If you want to hide something, you could hide it close.
Yeah, he could be your next door neighbor. You wouldn't fucking know, dude.
He has the power and the capability to transform what he looks like, what he sounds like, and how he acts. He is the smartest man I've ever met.
Okay. So if we chase down necromancy and forbidden magic and revivification, we might hear rumors of his existence. If he's been a ghost for 25 years and banished from Sorib,
He could have been partaking in an identity for the past 20 years and been right under our noses the entire time.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, this sounds harder than getting into the maelstrom, but we'll certainly try.
He is a man of constant uh, intellectual pursuit. Uh, he was often fond of uh, great repositories of knowledge, such as libraries and the like.
He's the dog.
Dun dun dun.
Okay.
If only
Um
anyone here knew of that repository.
um okay. Well, at this point, not to be rude or anything, but this sounds like a pretty low priority thing in terms of you know, the rest of the world events going on. Unless you seek his counsel to stop them? Is that what you're thinking?
He nods.
Okay.
Zuke has an imperial arcane academy. They have many wielders of arcane magic. He may know of a way to neutralize or counter that without being a arcane user yourself.
Let me be perfectly clear. You're not asking me to find someone to help disable another nation's magic so that you can run and murder them, are you?
You can't cancel out magic like that. I'm merely looking for either a protection or a way to nullify it. And he looks over at Garyu and he goes, "They would not be helpless without it."
Okay. Um Last time we had a means to communicate you, I feel like it was very effective until it got destroyed. Our backup means of communicating with you, um, well, it was improvised, but I'll say just next time, don't give up in a month.
Um, it he looks at me and goes, "We tried reaching out for 3 months."
Well, okay, understood. We, it was a blink of a second for us, but make it a habit with this group in particular to not give up.
Okay. Uh, yeah. With that, is there anything else y'all want to address with Alpheus or Kareem Sun?
I would just clarify what's to be done about the spy network. Like what does he want us to do? Should I go and tell them to flee? And do we want to show up with me in shackles and pretend that I've, given up the information and I've been captured? Do we
He
want
left it
to?
to us, and my vote
Okay.
is to tell the other end, the Zukayan people, that it's been compromised and that there are officials on their way, and send them into a panic, and then you cut ties. But that's just my thoughts.
That is what I do.
Okay.
Then I'm with you.
I am not your dictator. You can propose alternative plans.
I think that is an intelligent response.
Okay. All right, and that is where we will end that.
All right.